A Canadian man has been sentenced by a British court on terrorism charges. The Edmonton man was arrested a year ago after he landed at Heathrow Airport. The CBC's Julia Chapman is outside the London courthouse with the latest.
Khalid Hussein will spend at least 2/3 of his 5-year custodial sentence behind bars here in the UK. After that, he'll be eligible for 1 year on licence, meaning he won't be able to leave the country without explicit permission from parole officers. And here at Woolwich Crown Court, he was sentenced alongside radical preacher Anjem Choudhury, a well-known figure here in the UK. Both of them had been found guilty of involvement in an extremist organisation known as Al-Muhajirun, or ALM. It's gone under different names at different times, as well as its members sought to seek to sow confusion and hide their trail involving themselves in this organisation. And the conviction of Khalid Hussein came about after he was arrested at London's Heathrow Airport a year ago, because ALM is a prescribed terrorist organisation here in the UK, whereas in Canada it isn't. But Canadian police had been tracking him since 2020. He'd been the subject of an undercover RCMP investigation for spreading extremist ideology, organising lectures involving Anjem Choudhury, and distributing publications online and in print as well. And when he came to the UK, then police in this country had the opportunity to arrest him alongside Anjem Choudhury. Choudhury has been sentenced to life in prison. He will serve at least 28 years before even being eligible for parole. It's a really significant sentence for him. 5 years for Khalid Hussein, and giving his sentence, the judge explained the reasons for that decision. He said the only aggravating factor was that Hussein had failed to give up his PIN for a tablet for police to access that. But when it came to mitigating circumstances, they took into account the fact that he was not a previous offender, that he was going to be sentenced in a foreign country, and that throughout the trial he'd been described as naive and immature. Nevertheless, the judge said he knew what he was doing and he had been under the influence of Anjem Choudhury. But giving his sentence, the judge said to Hussein, "I do not believe that you are a dangerous man." He did, however, say that he was an offender of particular concern. Julia Chapman, CBC News, London.